Now let's see how we can set up a lab using a jailbroken iPhone. Obviously we need to have an iPhone which is jailbroken to be able to follow the instructions in this lab. How to jailbreak an iPhone is out of scope for this course, but let me quickly show you how I have jailbroken my device. I am switching to a browser, and as I mentioned earlier, the device that I have jailbroken is running iOS 12.4. So I have gone ahead and searched online for jailbreak exploits, which can be used to jailbreak my device, which is iPhone 6s running iOS 12.4. And I found Checkra. And if you look at this, this is the latest release that I have used here. And this release basically fixes an issue in 12.4, which is exactly what I have in my hand. It appears that this software was causing the device to panic and reboot on attempted shutdown. I'm pretty lucky that I have a working exploit available when I wanted. So I have just gone ahead and downloaded this for macOS, and I have started this application and connected the device, and the application shows the step-by-step procedure to jailbreak the device. So that's how I have jailbroken my device. It is recommended to have a jailbroken device because the setup is going to be pretty easy if you have a jailbroken device. But if you don't have it, it's fine. We are going to do everything even on a non-jailbroken device as well. Alright, so let me switch back to my slides. And once after jailbreaking the iPhone, you will see an application called Cydia. Let me project the screen of my iPhone. Okay, so this is how the jailbroken iPhone looks like. You can see there is an application called Cydia. Cydia is something like App Store from where we can download tools that are useful for pen testing. Now I'm going to use Cydia to download OpenSSH. This is the first tool that I usually download after jailbreaking an iDevice. So I'm going to search for OpenSSH and I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to click install and confirm, and this should download OpenSSH for me. Alright, so let me tap on return to Cydia because OpenSSH is now installed. Once that is done, let's go back to sources and click on edit and click on add and add another repo build.frida.re and tap on this add source button. There you go. So it is verifying the URL and this repo should be added into our Cydia. Okay, let's return to Cydia, and once that is done we should see build.frida.re is there. Let's tap on that. And let's go to all packages, and if you see I have installed Frida for pre-812 devices. If we install this, it is going to install Frida server onto the device. And using Frida server, as you can see from the description here, we can inject JavaScript to explore iOS applications over USB. We are going to see how we can do that later, but for now just install Frida server by choosing an appropriate option here. In my case, my device is a pre-812 device. You can actually check for your model and see which chip is being used in your device. So depending on the chip that is used on your device, you need to install 812 plus or pre-812, or if it is a 32-bit device, probably you should go for 32-bit version of Frida server. Once this is done, we are pretty much done. Now, since we have Frida server on the device, we need to have Frida client on the laptop. Because it's a client server based setup, we need to install a client on the local machine. So let's switch to the terminal and install Frida. But before that, I would like to make another point that we also need to install Objection. Objection is another tool which is built on top of Frida, and it can be used to perform runtime manipulation of the applications. It's not just runtime manipulation, we can do much more than that, but I usually use Objection for runtime manipulation in most of the cases. But in this course, we are going to see other use cases of objection as well, such as exploring the local data storage and stuff like that. Now, the reason why I have included objection here is that if we install objection on our local machine, it will automatically install Frida for us. So let's go ahead and install objection on the laptop. In my case, I have already done that, but let me quickly show you how to install that on the GitHub page. And let's scroll down. And if you see, the installation is pretty simple. All you have to do is just type pip3 install objection, right? So once that is done, you will have objection and Frida installed on the laptop. In some cases, the Frida and objection may not be in path. That's what happened in my case. My Frida and objection were installed, but when I tried to invoke them from the terminal, I get an output of objection not found and Frida not found. The reason is they're not added to the system path. So if you face this problem, you will have to manually add those binaries into your system path. So once you're done with the installation of objection and Frida, we want to verify the setup that we have done so far. Number one, I want to verify my SSH connection. Number two, I want to verify if Frida server is running fine. Number three, I want to verify my objection. Let's first begin with the SSH setup. SSH root at 192.168.0.102. We can check the IP address of the iPhone from the Wi-Fi settings. This is how it looks like. So in my case, it is 192.168.0.102. And I'm hitting enter. And by default, when you install OpenSSH from Cydia, the password is Alpine. So I have just entered Alpine and I am able to log into the device. So this is the spelling of Alpine and this is the password of OpenSSH by default when you install it from Cydia. Right, so this confirms that my SSH setup is working fine. Now let's go ahead and check if Frida is working fine or not. To do a quick smoke test, we can run frida-ps-u. -u specifies that my device is connected over USB and Frida is going to make a connection with the Frida server using the USB connection. So let's type frida-ps -u-ai so that we're going to get the list of bundle identifiers that are installed on the device. And let's probably grep for mail. As you can see, the mail application is installed and my Frida client is able to list the bundle identifier of this application. Right? Similarly, we can basically list out all the applications that are installed on the device. You can also see this checkRain application that I have shown you earlier, and you can see Cydia application that is running on the device. So essentially, this Frida client is able to communicate with the Frida server and it is able to list out all the apps that are installed on the device. Now that's perfect. So the Frida setup is working fine. Now let me quickly check the objection setup as well. As you can see, the objection is installed on my laptop. Now if we want to quickly check if objection is able to connect to the device, we can do that by getting the bundle identifier of mail application once again. And let's try to use this objection --gadget, and let's specify this bundle identifier and type explore. And I am going to start the mail application on my device and let's hit enter. As you can see, objection is able to hook into this mobile email application which is running on my iPhone. So this confirms that objection is working fine and we are good to go. Let me go back to the slides. I'm pretty much done with what I wanted to show in this video. We have installed OpenSSH using Cydia. We have installed Frida server and we have installed objection on the laptop, and we have also installed Frida client on the laptop by installing objection. And finally, we have verified SSH, Frida and objection setup. So that brings us to the end of this video. In the next video, we are going to discuss how to install the vulnerable applications in the jailbroken device.